Да, добрый вечер. Так, меня слышно вообще, как хорошо звук работает? Может быть, с перебоями какими-нибудь? Окей, хорошо. Так, ну, в любом случае мы подождем пару минут, пока ваши коллеги подключатся. Ну, я надеюсь, что они подключатся. Yeah, hi. Okay, so it's already 6:40, as as it has to be for our classes. Okay, and I will share my screen so we can start working on stuff. Okay, so I will share the entire screen so you could see, guys, everything that happens on my screen on my laptop. Okay, can you see my screen, guys? Is everything great? Okay, I hope you can see my screen. All right, and we will be going through materials which we have. Okay, so previous time we took a look on if constructions, and this is pretty simple stuff actually. So this time we'll take a look on, I really hope on both switch and for. So let's start with the switch. Okay, again I have these headers, I don't know how to take them out. Okay, so the switch. Now, switch operator is really interesting, and I personally use switch a lot of times. I would say pretty frequently, because by the switch we can reduce a lot of if constructions. Because we can have some if else, then in the false branch we can have another if else, then in included false branch we can already we can again have some if else, and such constructions writing could be a bit of disturbing, especially when you have tons of comparisons you have to make, and for each of just one or several cases you have to run one or another code. So this is reducible to the switch. And what is the idea of the switch command? So we have the switch, we have a condition here. Well, actually, it's the value. Here we could place the value, equation, variable, whatever, which gives you the resulting value. And it doesn't really matter if it's text, if it's a number, if it's Boolean value, if it's text, no big difference. And then you create the block, because after each construction we have to give entity. So in this case, entity always will be a block of instructions, and this block of instructions has to be formed in a specific manner. What is this manner? Well, we have cases of values of the selector. We can have one case, we can have several cases, and after these 2 points, we specify instructions, and we can give them as the one instruction or few instructions. we don't have to merge them into instruction blocks. It's not needed because entity is not weighted here. So literally, when the execution happens from a top to the bottom, and once it reaches the value of the selector, it executes totally all operations it meet afterwards within this instruction block. It could be operations, several operations from case it found out, which was, and if you are not working on a so-called break operator that breaks the construction, whatever construction, then all the rest operation will be executed. So in the end of the switch, there is a specific case of default. It's just called default. And I tend to say that operator or operators which are written in within default case will be executed if none of the cases were found, if none of the correct cases were found. But once again, once some of them is found out, all instructions will be run, and you have to pretend that you have to prevent this. You have to prevent this thing. Let's take a look on one of examples, guys. What do we have here? Well, unfortunately, this app is split to pieces, but it doesn't really matter. So we'll find out which key did we press, and in this case, we'll be using cout and cin input-output case. So I will be taking these codes, and I will be placing them in a new file, which we can have. Okay. The only thing I will work on spacers on the left side. I really like when there are no spaces, but they needed. Oh yeah, well, like this, because you have to be able to see included code. So you have to have kind of free space in the column of the operator within which you are writing the code inside. Okay, so this part is copied. Let's go for the rest of the code. Let's pull that inside. Maybe starting from the next line, like this. Okay, and let's put it that way. So what do we have? Well, we have a pressing key on the keyboard as the text. Then we press that, and the result, literally the pressed ASCII symbol which we see on the buttons actually, will be placed in the character variable. So character is just a variable that stores one symbol, and that's it. And then based on which symbol we pressed, and we have to here we have the case and then the value which x could be equal to. And you see we have a lot of the cases, and if one of them is correct, then we say that we executing the code starting from this line, which is meant for this bunch of the cases. So once again, if at least one of them is correct. Okay, well, what's then? So we literally print out the type of the symbol we pressed. And if none of cases worked from those which I highlighted on the screen, a default case will be activated. So literally we will see this text. So you enter the special symbol. In the end, we will see end of the program, and then we will have the system pausing, waiting for any key to be pressed. And if we run a program through the emulator, I mean a dev C++, for example, then there will be an additional waiting for any key to be pressed. So let's save it. Well, I will give another name for this file, and I'm about to run it. Yeah, and for example, I will click number 4. Okay, so what do we see? You press the number key. Okay, let's try something else. For example, I will press uppercase N. For that purpose, I will hold Shift and I will press N. Okay, and I will press Enter. So what we have? You entered an uppercase letter. Okay, so guys, you could ask me what are those breaks exactly? So as I told you, the break instruction corrects the construction. So if we have construction switch, so break will finalize it. So it's kind of it finishes the switch. And if it's not really going, so for example, I will take out those breaks. What happens this case? So once again, going from the top to the bottom in this instruction block, program will try to find out the case of your x. I mean x variable, and then finding out it will start print or start executing all instruction it see in this block after this instruction or instructions. So let's say I will type maybe a letter M, a lowercase m. What will happen? This text will be printed out, this will be printed out, this will be printed out, and this will be printed out until it will reach a break or until it will reach the end of the switch. Let's try it. Let's compile and run the code, and I will choose a lowercase letter. Okay, maybe let it be K. Okay, so what do we have? The lowercase letter and uppercase letter, math symbol, special symbol. So as you see, that's why we need the break. And break operator is used not only for this purpose, but there are a lot of other keys we can use. So that's the idea. That's the idea. Guys, are we good so far? Is everything clear about the switch? Almost. Okay. So once again, I would like to encourage you to ask questions. If something is not really clear, you can formulate your question. You can write it in the chat. And if we don't really have a time for that, anyways, we can return to your questions in the end of the class, within Q&As at least. Okay? Can we do that? So guys, don't be shy to ask. Okay, since there are no reactions in the chat, so I suppose we can move on. And the next thing we have to take a look is the randomizer. Well, what's the randomizer actually is? The randomizer allows us to give a value, the randomized value. Randomized means the value which you are not predicting to receive, or which you cannot predict. So, frankly saying, most of C++ implementations have meta randomizer, so it means not real randomizer. The most real randomizer can be found out in Borland C++. That's the one which works purely, and comments we can see in this example would not work there. So in most of the C++ cases, we are using sequence or round function to say that, well, we have an equation which we are starting to receive randomized values from, but we have to have some value which that equation will be started with, or the value which will be used as the argument for getting the first value of this sequence of randomized values. And time zero from time in library means that we're given a current moment which is convertible to integer to sequence rand function. So it means every time you run the software, you will get different sequence of randomized values. If you just give one constant value here, each run you will have the same sequence of randomized values. Okay, so I suppose this could be clear. So let's figure out what happens with the rand function. Rand function gives you, so if a sequence run initiates the randomizer, then rand gives you the next randomized value. This value is a big integer value, so it's integer value. It doesn't have any fraction. And if you would like to receive that value in some range, what you can do? Well, the simplest case and the case which I use mostly would be the remainder of division. The remainder of division is being received using percentage sign. So, um, are we good with with division reminder? Do we know what is it? Can you provide an example if you know? A reminder, not the division itself, the reminder. Yes, I can remind you. So, let's maybe open Notepad++. Okay, I have some text here. Okay, I think I will not need this. So let's say we are dividing 25 by 7. Result is 3. Reminder is 4. So reminder can be calculated only when we are about to receive an integer result of division. So in reality, 25, from 25 we take out 4 and we receive 21, the value which is less than original, less than 25, and divisible by the necessary number. You will receive 3, but the value which was not included in this division operation is 4. That's what the remainder of division means. Are we good with this definition? Is it clear for everyone? For now, what is the remainder of division? Yeah, but I have to be sure that this step is clear so we can move on. So that's why I'm asking. And I will really like to receive a responses, guys. Okay, so if it's clear for us how remainder of division works and its definition, so let's take a look on the following things. And let's see what happens if we apply that. So let's say we have randomized the value and we find out remainder of division by 10. What possible values can we receive? Well, the minimum will be a 0. Well, there is no other option. And the maximum will be the value which we're dividing with minus 1. So the value will be from a 0 to 9. What happens in such case? Which I highlighted now. So we divide by 6, so it means the result will be in the range from a 0 to 5. And if we add 1, so the range becomes from a 1 to 6. That's the idea. So let's try to use this example. So let's suppose we'll be using the current time moment, and we will be kind of throwing the dice up, and we will receive the value in the range between 1 and 6. So let's take these codes. Let's pull them inside. Let's save it up, and let's compile it and run. Oh, so time was not declared in the scope. Okay, so what is missing here? The timing library is missing. Time.h. Okay. Sequence rand was missing. Okay. std std. If I'm not mistaken, it was in this library. Yes. So you see, throwing a dice throws up 3. Okay. If we run application again, what we will see? It's 2. So you see the value changes, but it will never but it will never go out the range. So now it's 5. So things are clear. Now it's 4. And guys, what happens if we here, in place of the current time moment converted to integer, we'll give some specific number, let's say 3. So it means each time we run the app, the sequence of randomized values will be unchanged. It will be the same all the time. Let's see what we'll receive in the end. So it's 1, as you can see. Let's run it again. It's again 1. Yeah, so it will be always the same value. Yeah, and only when you give something different from each time run, and it could be just a time, time moment. Only this provides you different values, and since that's the only reason why you receive different values, that's why this method is called as meta randomizer. So not real randomizer, in other words. That's the idea. Okay. So that's it related to this small file. Okay, and let's maybe try to make some tasks. Okay, and literally these tasks will be pretty simple for you. So guys, so you have to write the program to ask to enter a number from 1 to 10, and you have to print on the screen the number which is entered and its definition in word, like 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on. So this will be the first task. So whenever you will get the result, you can just write in the chat, so you did that, or you can just post the code if you like in the chat. Is the task clear for you guys? Yeah, great, great. So guys, again, user enters number, and you give back the number and its name in words. Like with letters, you just write 1, 2, 3, and so on. So it's like in invoices when you have to write numbers in words. Literally is the same. Okay, I will switch to the task so everyone could see that. And I will be expecting you to make firstly the first task, and then inform about that. So again, once you made the task, you can post the code or you can just write in the chat so you did that. Otherwise I will not know what is the progress. Okay, almost done. Okay, great. Great. And if you will find out that you've really done that, then you can start making the second task. This assumes to have the randomizer. Okay, so I see that Nikita done. So Nikita, did you make the first one or first and the second? Okay, the first one. Okay. Um. Yes. There is one done. Okay. Yeah. Because I was looking like it was. Yeah. It looked for me like it's not one but I. Okay. So we can start making the second task. So again, here idea is super simple. Have a lottery system. You have tickets. You have winning tickets, and you have to generate number. You have to get if you want something or you didn't. So a very simple task. So guys, what is the progress with the first task? Okay, it's clear that Nikita made that and Lorena's made that, but what's about others? We have here Carlos and Faustinus. Oh, okay. So Faustinus, did you make both of the tasks? Okay, that just one. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. So try to make the second one as well. Okay, here we have the definition. Okay, looks like it happens pretty slowly. Do you need some help related to this task? At least the second one. Okay, about multi characters. Okay. So so where do we have multi characters? Um, um, oh, do you mean with the first task when you are given the value back which was pressed on the keyboard? Is that part? Okay, so actually you can be you don't have to be really worried about this because there are few ideas have to be taken into account. You just use integer and as the value which you are returning values to. It's like it's here. Okay, you know why we save the character, because actually here we have values, right? Literally each of the symbols we have is the value which varies in numerical ranges between 0 and 255. And actually that's the idea of the character. So it's not a symbol. It's the variety between 0 and 255. And why we use symbols? Well, only to I would say it's only for simplification, the idea of what is. So in the place of char, you can have int, and then you just compare values numerically. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take the code from Nikita. Let's use let's type 10. Okay, so if we have 10, then number one. Well, definitely no, because you're comparing the values, and actually this value is just not one symbol values. They have their ASCII codes. Let me show you that. There is such thing in those as a character map. Let's find out one. Here it is. You can see its actual value in hexadecimals. It's 31. And same for all other symbols. However, you cannot write this one. You can use apostrophes only for symbols. And symbol contains only one, well, symbol is only one symbol, not few of them. So what you do, you change a char to int, and here you take out those apostrophes. They're not needed. Like this. And now when you run the software and you press 10, oh sorry, I pressed a different stuff. This one. So you see it's the number 10. Same as I would just put what number, like maybe 2. Okay, so you see number 2. Does it make a sense? Okay, good. Great. So please try to make the second task solution as well. And those who did, please share the information about that. So I would know that we have to take a look on other material. And here we have that second task definition. So do we have any progress related to the second task? Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. So again, guys, once you do something, inform because otherwise, how can I know? Maybe it happens that the whole group made the tasks, and I'm just with nothing. So in order for me to know that, I have to be informed. Okay, so second task is going to take some time. Okay, so in order not to waste a lot of time, because I was planning to take a look on the for loop, let's maybe make the second task together. Well, also it's just a half an hour left, but we can at least start to take a look on the for loop. Okay, so the second task, there was a randomizer. Okay, I will make a few steps back in these codes. Uh-huh. Okay, here I have the randomizer. So X is generated value. Let's suppose our codes will be from started from number 1 to number 100. So how to get such case? So it will be this one. So this part will give us the value from a 0 till 99. And if I add 1, so this value will be starting from a 1 till 100. Okay, and nextly, we know that if the value is in the range, right? If the value of the ticket is in the range, and the range was between 20 and 40, then then well, they have to be winning lottery ticket numbers, not just lottery ticket numbers, but that's fine. So if it's in the range between 20 and 40, how can we do that? How can we check that? So so there are two conditions. One where x is greater or equal to 20. Another is when x is less or equal to 40. So that will be that case. Um, so let's put a print out there. Um, um, well, we can do that this way. Here you didn't win. Something like this. And now what we can do, we can just run the software again and again. Um, like this. Okay, you won. All right. You didn't win. Yeah, so actually there are a lot of these things. So that's how you can implement the second task. Or okay, you could use the same kit advised. The only thing is just a lottery from the winning tickets. That's it. So all of them will be winning. Okay, so are we good so far with the solutions? Okay, so we have a bit less than half an hour, but anyways, let's at least put an eye on for loops. Oh, and by the way, there will be the homework. Um, So I suppose the deadline could be like maybe some 2 weeks maybe. So let's take a look from now 2 weeks. So which date it will be? 9 and then 16. Okay, so it's literally 16 March. Okay, so that will be the deadline for that. I will switch off the edit. Okay. 603. Like this. Okay. Here you find out several tasks. Well, yes, some tasks for training, and you have them all. Okay, maybe in places where it has to make the flowchart, well, just ignore the flowchart and make the app. That's the idea. Okay, so let's take a look on some of examples of for loop. So for is an interesting thing. Which happens that way. So we have for as the key name of the constructor. Next, we have the looping variable. So the variable will be used within every iteration, without every time we repeat the code, because loops ID repeat the code cycles. This variable will have its own initial value. And the second so-called block separated with semicolon is the end condition. Now, literally here we write a condition, and if condition true, we run another iteration. If false, then for construction false. So finished. And then we have after iteration. Well, in most of the cases, it's increasing of some window or whatever. So how it looks like? Well, here is a sample of such idea. So variable I, nextly I less than 3. So iteration will be done once this compare fine. So yeah, and then after each iteration we increase value phi by 1. That's the So let's say we would like numbers from 1 to 9 to 10. How to do that? We can even make a summation of them. So we have the for loop, which literally means that I firstly has the value 1, and the condition to run iterations will be the value I. So value I will be less or equal to 10. Okay, they have after iterational code, which after the iteration is value phi. Okay, so yeah, and then after brackets in which we set up construction for um, um, after the brackets in which you set function for 4. So we have to mention an entity, and it could be the instruction or it could be block of instructions. In my case, it's block of 2 instructions. Surely we can take this code, we can put it as a compiler, and we can try to run it. So as you can see, there is the printout and there is the summation of all of these values. Okay. Here it is an option about well showing you a step by step how this thing works, but you know, since the I values change only after the iteration, so um, okay, anyways, there is the beginning text, at least it looks like, and then some same cases. Next, it begins that after increasing of some of the texts, um, the size of the 10 could become the size of 11, which is sometimes in the well, it's not really nicely implemented. Like there are some problems with math, and you know, uh, okay, so we have an example of another for loop. The only difference maybe in this for loop between the previous case, that here we have the biggest value assigned uh, to the variable of the for. Then we have a condition, and then we decrease the value 5. Well, surely we could take this code. We could put that side. Okay, in my case, probably I don't have istream with .h. I suppose I have just istream. Here my compiler doesn't like that. There is no int main. And I'm supposed to have to even give back some value. Yes, and clear there's no such thing as the get char. There's no such thing. Yes, and since the namespace is not used, I mean the namespace std, so we can't really refer to CL, and yeah, we can use std, this one, to have an access to that. So there was different or let's try to compile again. Okay, so what do we have in this construction? So we have the maximal value in the beginning. We have the condition that basically says the minimal value of the parameter, and the next one says that after each iteration, the value of I will be decreased by well, literally it has to be decreased by 1. Okay, so here we have an example that has a combined condition, because combined conditions are possible and they're pretty used actually. So what do we have here? So we have some imaginary G value, and for loop there is well, there is initialization part, the condition part, which is this one, and after iteration part. Okay, so we can even take that, we can put here, and we can run it. Okay, so one more those parentheses. Okay, let's take a look on some other stuff. Okay, well, about this one, well, do you know how to do that? But we can roll the dice even a few times. So for example, we can create a loop within which there will be a turn of the dice happening all the time, and maybe um, mm, well, actually, since here there are only five dice throwing. Okay, good question. What will be there? But anyways, these things are available for us. We can program them, and that's the most interesting. So actually, the for loop is not overcomplicated. As you can see, just two components, and the rest is just a code. Okay. Oh, okay. So I see the request to to go back to the last code, but I haven't seen that. So which code is it? And by the way, you could activate microphone, so I could know that you would like to return to the codes. Okay, random 2040, the one which I wrote, right? Okay. Okay, so I will be just going in these codes because I just was rewriting one file Yes, this one. Well, I suppose I would do this in a such way. Might happen that you need this code. Might happen. So I will just copy that in chat. So you would have it. Okay, so we have kind of 10 minutes left till the end of the class. So maybe let's take a look on those tasks which you will need to make. I mean the second homework. Okay, here we have a definition. And let's take a look. Maybe there is some task that needs specification or maybe some additional info. Let's take a look. Okay, so the first one asks user to type two numbers and print the diff and print if well a difference between the largest and smallest number. Okay. Okay, this is an interesting task. So the second of the homework. Next, so we determine whether the user entered the number is divisible by 7 without the reminder. Well, it's super simple. Okay, so if we would like to determine the largest value and print the largest value with identifying message. Okay, so that's simple as well. So the program that reads three numbers and prints the value of the smallest number. Again, nothing complicated. So the question about fishes. Okay, an interesting one. Next one. So determination whether the user entered a number even or. Well, again, it's super simple. The next one. The software determines whether the user entered number is positive, negative, or zero. Okay, another interesting task, but again, nothing super complicated. Nothing super complicated. Okay, okay. So I suppose it could be the time for Q&A. Okay. Well, Nikita, is it clear how did I do the code about those tickets? Maybe some other questions still waiting to be asked. Okay, Faustinus, Carolis, and Rinus, do you have any questions? Because maybe something was not super clear for you. It might happen. Mm-hmm. Okay, Lorenz, makes sense. Well, I would call most of these things are just a matter of the practicing. Okay, looks like Faustinus doesn't have any questions. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Mhm. Okay, so oh, All right, so anyways, we took a look on all materials we're about to take a look at, and some questions. Then I suppose we can finish the class. And once again, I would like to remind you that in the Moodle, you have an opportunity to write the message. So it doesn't really matter that that there is no class. Well, I mean, when you're doing something, you can always hit a message in the Moodle, and when I will answer you, maybe guiding you with recommendations. So don't ignore that opportunity. Alright guys, so thanks for being connected. I really hope next time to say a bit more than people. I would really like to see a full group, but it is what it is. Yeah, and to make those tasks, and if something's not really clear, just post a message and we'll have some discussions. Okay guys, so once again, thanks for being here. I really appreciate that, and see you next time. Bye bye guys.